I haven't heard about any of the Hoyo VA drama for a good while, so I genuinely thought it might be over. But apparently that's not the case, because Hirohei uploaded a video called Genshin Impact Voice Actor is Under Fire by Other VAs. And the thumbnail shows Beidou, and I don't know what Beidou's VA could have possibly done, so let's get into this and see what the hell's going on,
Welcome
dude.
back, guys. Hope you've been having a wonderful weekend.
Thank you, I have.
We're here over on Blue Sky in a post just made in the last, well, within the last hour. From
okay, so this is very recent.
Little Creep.
July 12th. We're currently on July 13th, so it's about a day old.
So, the post being about the VA industry or the VO industry, that of course being voice acting or voice-over industry. And some issues with the industry. It's interesting seeing Little Creebo talk about this.
I'm going to assume this is all post-SAG-AFTRA stuff, and that SAG-AFTRA has unraveled a lot of the truths within the VA community, right? It has to be.
Especially the second part, which we'll get to in just a second, that being this part. Because, well, the Blue Sky clique of VAs is certainly...
I'm going to move my camera down to, like, down here so y'all can actually see what the hell is going on this.
part of the problem. So let's see what they say.
Okay.
Was listening to a podcast interview with Kelly Marie Tran, where she talked about entering acting and how she assumed everyone in that community would be about, you know, community and supporting each other and not chasing a buck.
Yeah, I think a lot of the VAs actually are, but chasing it's a job at the end of the day, so chasing a buck is kind of a wild term to throw about a job.
And you really can hear her heart sinking. She's just like me, for real, etc. I don't really remember anything about this Kelly Marie Tran person. The name is vaguely familiar.
Yeah, same. Let me know down in the comments, because I can't do the research while live reacting to this right now, but I am curious.
But yeah, I don't really remember like who they are or like what they're from or whatever. We get a response from someone else who I don't know. Is this person AVA? It says dad himbo, actor, author, etc. Okay. So an actor, I guess.
Yes.
It says, I'll be real. I came from the music industry, and I have never seen such selfish, arrogant, revolting, backstabbing, immature behavior I've witnessed in VO.
Yeah, honestly, me either, especially with the whole Jacob Takanashi situation that happened a good while ago now, and honestly, just a lot of the SAG stuff in general. There was a lot of backstabbing going on during that, and very immature behavior. I can only assume that is what they're referencing here, right?
Voiceover. Music, singers, guitarists, all more chill and supportive. Even the ones who hate you just let you be.
I don't think that's necessarily the case. I mean, we've seen our fair share of diss tracks, and it depends on what part of the industry you're in, I guess.
And so then we get Little Creebo responding back saying, if I'm being entirely honest, when some actors spoke up during the strike to say, quote, this has turned actors against each other, nobody knows who to trust, unquote.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, you just now noticed this was a thing? Impressive lack of awareness there.
I mean, I guess this is about fellow actors or voice actors, right? But yeah, I think, to be fair, same with, it kind of blindsided the community, right? Myself included, and a lot of other people were always kind of under the impression that this strike was about AI and preventing AI from stealing jobs, and then it turned out that really wasn't the case. That was kind of the scapegoat that they went under to start the whole strike and everything. There's plenty of videos on that topic if you want to catch up on it, on my channel and on other people's channels, Hirohei, Mujin, plenty. But the strike did open up a lot of people's eyes on showing a lot of people's true colors, whether for better or for worse, because it did show us who some incredible voice actors are, and it really showed us who some absolute pieces of shit were as well. I don't think that's a lack of self-awareness necessarily.
How these people, like Little Creebo here, when I say these people, I'm referring to the Blue Sky clique, by the way, constantly vague post like this. This is not the first time they've done it. And they've routinely done it to Allegra Clark, because this is, according to my recollection, a verbatim or very close to verbatim quote of what Allegra Clark had said, in part in the thread she made on Twitter a few months ago, criticizing the VAs and the strike. So
which I think she was entirely in her right to do, by the way.
Creebo seems to take umbrage with what Allegra Clark had said, but he's trying to conflate what she said with other actors also saying this rhetoric, when this is, again, basically a verbatim quote from Allegra Clark. So what I'm getting at is...
So they're basically just vague tweeting Allegra Clark.
In general, I think call-out posts on social media tend to be very cringe and or petty most of the time. On very rare occasion, they do have merit and are made with good purpose and reason behind them. But most of the time, unfortunately, from what I've seen, it's done in a very petty, just like immature way. They tend to be very cringe, as mentioned, at least in my opinion.
Absolutely.
And so
I do agree with that.
Amplifying that is when you're also like vague posting, like a grown man here. grown man who's going to take a verbatim quote from someone and criticize that quote, but then is also too scared to mention who they are, and then try to conflate what they said with also.
And don't get me wrong, I'm pretty sure, please correct me if I am wrong here, but I'm pretty sure Little Karibo themselves has specifically called out other VAs and members of the community before by not vague tweeting. So I don't know why they're going down this path now.
Other actors making the same take when it's like, no, it's literally what one specific actor said, Allegra Clark.
Yeah.
Just weird behavior to me. And as mentioned, we've seen this clique of VAs do the same thing, whether to Allegra Clark, because they've done the exact same thing to her like numerous times now.
I think Allegra's great, by the way. I think she made a lot of very valid points in the Twitter thread that she made a long while ago, and I think she's very honest with the way that she felt about the whole strike by the end of it.
Or other people. Another example of this was Mujin, when they were complaining about Mujin's video, but they refused to name Mujin. And instead, we're calling him...
Bro, it's like nowadays, even me, bro, even on Twitter, people censor my name because they don't want... It's just so funny. They just don't want to... They don't want to, like, specifically call someone out. They don't want them to see that they're talking about you. They try to... it's like the whole Voldemort situation, right? Like, don't say his name, he will appear. Like, Jesus Christ, bro, get a grip.
Like, the YouTuber, the grifter YouTuber who said that VAs are entitled in the title of the video... and had Discord logs. It's like, okay, like that's clearly talking about Mujin's video about entitled VAs and like the Discord logs from his video, but they were like scared to name Mujin or whatever. But look, I'm just going to move on from this premise because I could sit here for a few more minutes trying to understand the logic.
A few more minutes is putting it generously, I think.
Of these like irrational people.
Yeah.
And I suppose it's like a waste of time, really.
For sure. I mean, the whole thing's a waste of time, to be fair. Like, if you want to look at it through that lens, but it's entertainment at the same time, and it's obviously just pointing out blatant stupidity sometimes.
Talk about one more thing that Little Karibo said, which is impressive lack of awareness there, which really could be pointed back his direction. You know, a lot of the VAs on Blue Sky seem like the exact sort of people who act like rats, who would stab each other in the back and all that.
For sure.
Basically, the exact sort of thing that Allegra Clark was talking about.
And the exact sort of thing that is going on right now.
So that's a bit funny. And then ultimately, I like how Little Karibo's take is essentially, Allegra Clark is wrong. The strike didn't make us turn into scumbags. We've always been scumbags. Which, okay, bro, like I'm not going to even try to refute that. I'll just go along with it.
That is how it reads, dude.
Now, there's something I'm going to bring up real quick, too, which is actually... credit I gotta give to you guys, the viewers, because I've never brought this point up before, but I've seen people in the comments bring it up. And it's a good point. So what I've seen some people say is like, why is Little Karibo so invested in all this anyways? Like, he's not really a part of the VA industry like this, is he?
Well, isn't Little... I could be very wrong here, but I thought Little Karibo did, like, voice acting for anime and stuff, right?
He sure talks a lot about the industry and SAG and all that.
Or are they not? Are they just notorious?
For someone who doesn't seem to be that much of a part of it. Some people have speculated it could be because Marine Miller, and that's why he's so invested in all this stuff. Oh, if you don't know Marine Miller, by the way, this is a VA who a few months ago tried to get the game Hades to flip Union.
Oh, hey, the indie game Hades?
Making a statement that, in my opinion, came off extremely gaslighty and...
Are we surprised? Wait, what is this?
Trying to get people to like...
It's possible you may hear me get recast in a particular game that is very popular. If I am, it was not because I stepped away from the character willingly. It's because the employer refused to flip an interim. Oh, God, it's a shocker. It would be super helpful if you wrote a giant email asking them to flip for their actors. Oh my God. It is basically gaslighting or not blackmail per se, but Jesus fucking Christ, get a grip.
Like, according to my recollection, email the company... the devs and be like, sign the union agreement. And part of the reason that Marine Miller was saying that the game needs to become union is because Marine has health.
I think before even getting into this, dude, I think the whole, everybody should just try and force this game to flip union and become union. It is literally just enforcing the point that everybody made about SAG-AFTRA, that it is not a typical union. It is not as helpful as they want to try and be perceived as. And it is quite literally a cult situation, right? It's like a mafia. The SAG-AFTRA mafia, from the wise words of Paperbag Boy. It is quite literally them just trying to flip games union. They're trying to unionize everything. They're trying to get a hold over the market.
Care costs, saying my health insurance plan is doubled in price and I do not have a qualifying life event to delay the cost of a better plan with tax penalties when I am gearing up.
Yeah, and that shit sucks. It does. That sucks. But that does not mean you need to put other people in jeopardy and try to literally force games to become union just to benefit that. Like, I get it. The union is good for this kind of stuff. It is. but the way that people are going about this stuff is so abhorrently bad, and it has been since, well, at least for the past few months.
Confirming surgeries. Unlike their full-time employees, I do not have the ability to qualify for pension and retirement any other way than through a performers union until the government provides a system funded by the taxes I already pay, taxes that are 7% higher as a non-union performer. This whole thing was a weird statement for a lot of reasons, and this is only just a piece of it. For example, the whole thing about being a non-union performer is odd because according to my understanding, like, Marine is a part of SAG-AFTRA, so the phrasing here is confusing.
I think they're basically saying they're part of SAG-AFTRA, but they're not getting enough work to be considered like the full-time SAG-AFTRA stuff to get all the benefits, and they're still taking on non-union gigs to make up for that extra income, I would assume, because the non-union gigs are good. But if SAG-AFTRA enforced their global rule 1, which was that SAG members cannot work on non-union projects, they would be just as fucked, right? Or am I absolutely crazy for that?
But I believe the implication is that this particular game, Hades 2, was not on a union contract, so it's trying to make it sound like working on this game, I'd be working as non-union, so I think that's what that means. And I guess would be apparently taxed at a higher rate, allegedly, if that's true or not.
No idea.
But ultimately, one of the biggest reasons for, again, trying to get this game to flip union was that Marine wants to have a chance at getting gender-affirming surgeries covered, presumably by meeting a minimum income threshold by SAG-AFTRA.
Yeah, that's exactly what I thought it was.
To meet the minimum requirements to get their healthcare plan in which they may cover those surgeries or something.
And then it's like, if the bro, I'm all for it. I'm all for it. You'll work for what you want to work for. Spend your money on what you want to spend it on. Get healthcare. Healthcare is always going to be good. My thing is, if SAG-AFTRA is really that good, should you really be needing to take on non-union gigs to be able to afford this stuff and to be able to earn enough money to get the healthcare benefits of SAG-AFTRA? I get it. It's such a rock and a hard place to be stuck between, because yes, these benefits of SAG-AFTRA are good, but it's clearly not in a strong enough position right now to be able to just go full SAG and go full union, because these people are still taking non-union jobs to earn the extra money, man. Like, I feel like I'm going insane the more I look into SAG and just realize how fucked up that whole situation and union is.
Also, of course, let's briefly take note of how odd it is to try and compare being a temporary contracted employee to do some VA work to full-time employees working for the devs on like the actual game development on the studio side of things. And so this next part is to my understanding of what this may all mean and like what might happen. So to my understanding, this would fundamentally shift how the game is being worked on in many ways. A lot of non-union people...
Again, I don't know fully the whole situation with that, but I do think that is the case.
Are also working on the game. This could end in them getting terminated if they don't successfully get Taft-Hartleys, if the game indeed did flip union. And even if people were able to retain their positions, they would have a bunch of paperwork to sign, a bunch of union agreements to sign.
Yeah, and fees, right?
Potentially affecting the game production in various ways, giving people a bunch of paperwork, maybe even getting some people fired ultimately.
Yep.
But hey, this is the right thing to do because I'm saying that this is the morally correct thing and I need these surgeries and you should all email the company to get them to sign this agreement. And it's like, holy smokes, this is really selfish sounding. Like,
yeah, that's kind of what I took from it too. Like, again, I'm all for the healthcare, I'm all for the benefits, I'm all for getting surgery, I'm all for doing what makes you happy. But when that comes at the cost of making other people's lives pretty much a living fucking hell, potentially, and getting them fired and stuff, just so that you get what you want, it does sound very selfish.
My gosh. But yeah,
really
people say that perhaps the reason Little Kribo's so invested in this stuff is because Marine Miller is Little Kribo's wife, I believe. That's what people are saying. So maybe that's what's going on here. I don't know. Let me know what you think. That all takes us over to Shauna Breyer, Senna Breyer, however you say the name there. This, I believe, is the VA for Wooklamat, a VA who seems to be universally despised in the Final Fantasy community.
Okay, I didn't want to say anything. I haven't played Final Fantasy in a very long time, bro, since like the end of Shadowbringers. But I fucking love that game. I heard a lot of people kind of not just shitting on the VA for the VA work, which I'm not entirely. I don't like. I don't like the fact that that happens. But they apparently seemed to kind of parade around that they were this huge VA and they had a shit ton of lines and stuff. When again, apparently that wasn't the case. I don't know. They seem to get a big ego from voicing this character. I am not 100% aware. I don't know the whole situation about that. Like I say, I haven't played the game in a very long time. It's just what other people have kind of said on social media, specifically X or Twitter. I'm not calling it X. I don't know why I just did that. But yeah, I'm going to let him speak.
From what I've seen. And so Senator Breyer chimes in on what Little Kribo had to say. in the section that had the Allegra Clark quote. Why is that difficult to say?
Yeah.
Allegra Clark quote. Say that 10 times fast. Maybe
Allegra,
it's just me
I can't.
who's failing at that.
Nope.
But anyways, so Senator Breyer says, 9 times out of 10, if someone says this is tearing the community apart, they're the ones who've been doing it. Oh, okay. Let's shift the blame there. The VA industry, the trans community, whatever. People don't like the status quo. Hey, you are the status quo, by the way. Congratulations on your lack of self-awareness. In a post where Kribo's talking about impressive lack of self-awareness, that would, in fact, also apply to you. People don't.
Yeah, I guess it would in this entire situation when they're saying this is tearing if someone says this is tearing the community apart, they're the ones that have been doing it. Where Little Kribo literally posted this out and said, if you're just now realizing that, it's an impressive lack of awareness. Yeah.
Like the status quo, wherein the least privileged are kept down, being disrupted, and will readily manipulate the unaware.
Interesting.
So wait, is Senator Breyer now implying that Allegra Clark is like trying to manipulate the unaware and keep people held down or whatever? Like,
bro, this is fucking insanity. This has got to just become a level of embarrassment at some point, right?
Oh my gosh, dude, these people are so like morally, what's the word? I would say like morally righteous, but like they're obviously not actually morally righteous. They like to LARP as if they are extremely morally righteous people. Yeah. It's always hilarious. There's a second part. Let's see what this is. Can't have a community to tear apart if the space within which it lives is one where the marginalized and the oppressed have never had a place in it to begin with. Hey guys, did I tell you today how much of a victim I am? By the way, guys, I am a giant victim. I'm being oppressed and held down.
I don't really understand like where this is coming from after that previous tweet, to be honest. I have like zero context of this person, so I really don't know.
Marginalized and everything is working against me.
I don't really get it.
Oh gosh, my track.
I don't really get it. Are they talking about the voice actor community and saying that if the marginalized and oppressed people have never had a place in the voice actor community? Because I don't agree with that. It sucks that in general people are marginalized and oppressed anyway, right? Like, I don't think anybody's arguing that. But to say that anybody that fits those two shoes don't have a place in the voice actor community is also pretty fucked up to say, no? They're like, surely you're just damaging your reputation with other voice actors in that situation that feel like they do have a place in the community because they do.
I got messed up there for a second because I was like laughing off screen.
Unless I'm totally misunderstanding this. I don't think I am though. I have very limited information here.
But like, dude, oh my gosh, how do these people not get bored of living like this? And then go figure, you got Karina Boatger, ex-VA of Paimon from Genshin Impact, reposting Little Kribo. Oh yeah. You best bet that Karina agrees with all this stuff.
I'll be surprised. Can we keep it a buck? Bro, I thought I never had to hear that name again after all the bullshit. Not gonna cap.
And then Little Kribo added this, I guess, too. The whole, I will accept the industry treats me like garbage because succeeding in that world will get me to conventions that don't treat me like garbage thing. It really sucks. If you only feel your value when you're sitting on a panel in front of an audience or selling prints, something is wrong.
I think a lot of the VAs feel their value when their characters are appreciated in the story and people give them props and stuff, and also when they're just being generally good human beings. And I feel like that people don't feel value when they very tremendously fuck up and start shitting on people and looking into their finances and doing the most heinous shit because of a strike that never affected the games that these people were striking against anyway. I think that speaks volumes, TBH.
Yeah, Carino repost that. Well, like, what does that actually mean, though? Hold on.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
It's the industry treats me like garbage because succeeding in that world.
I think by the industry, they mean the community that they're trying to appease.
World will get me to conventions that don't treat me like garbage. No one's forcing you to do VA work.
Yeah.
Like you're saying it treats you like garbage? I don't know, man. I think these VAs have it pretty well compared to arguably most jobs in the world. I mean, let's be real.
I don't know about that. I think VAs are severely underpaid for a lot of the work that they do. Not all VAs, not all companies underpay, but I feel like, and this is a prime example, right? Genshin actually pays union rates to a lot of the main character VAs and stuff, which is a phenomenal thing. I don't really know about other games, but I heard at one point, and this was like when the strike first started, so maybe a year and a half ago or something, a year and a half, that VA's like typical wage is like what was it? Oh god, I don't want to throw out a random number, I'd be totally wrong here, but I thought it was like $100 per session or something, which is kind of crazy for the amount of work that they do. I don't know if that is the case. If somebody has more up-to-date information on how much VAs do get paid for non-union jobs and union jobs specifically, feel free to let me know down in the comments. If you post links though, YouTube's probably going to nuke your comment. It's just something they do and it's very annoying.
A lot of these VAs get to either work from a comfortable recording studio or, in many cases these days,
home.
Working from home.
Yes.
Where they're given some lines to read maybe for an hour or a few hours. And considering the amount of work that they put in, a few hours here and there, they're getting paid exceptionally well.
Yeah, I don't know about that. Maybe.
For the amount of work that they're doing. Like, most people are making far less money.
It's not necessarily for the work that they're doing, though. It's what that work's going to be used for, right? I think that's a very important distinction to make, because it's also just like actors and stuff, right? A lot of people think actors are overpaid, and hey, whether you want to think that or not, it's not my prerogative to convince you otherwise or convince you here or there, really. But a lot of the reasons why those people get paid so much is not because they're just like acting something out and reading lines. It's because they're also selling themselves, basically. They're selling their, their nature, their face, their voice, their image, their royalties. Like they can be used for commercial properties. They can be used by these studios to generate additional income for merch, for things like that. So that's also the stuff that you do have to bear in mind for people getting paid for what they are doing. It's also for what the companies can gain from what they're doing in the future as well. For example, if I do, as a content creator, if I do an ad for a company, they will likely pay extra for like usage rights, so they can use that ad for longer or for like certain periods of time or certain platforms and stuff, right? It's just a typical thing, which I think is important to differentiate.
Per hour, in conditions that are also far less comfortable. Now, that's not to say that people are not allowed to want better from their place of work or
Absolutely.
their employment situation and all that.
Definitely.
But it is to say that a lot of these VAs do act extremely entitled. But yeah, that's all there really is to say in this video.
Crazy, dude.
As usual,
oh, God.
VAs on Blue Sky.
Yeah, subtweeting Allegra Clark for that is kind of wild, especially pretty much verbatim what she said previously. I really thought the VA drama was done with, but apparently it just keeps on going and people keep coming out of the woodwork. So we'll see if there's any more information that comes out about this in the future, I guess.